very much, and thanks for all of those who've given us one of the most exciting indigenous cultural displays. I think Parliament's everything privileged to see, so thank you very much. We'll move on to the speakers in the meeting in a moment. I was just going to put as a proposition that we might agree on before the meeting concludes, that in order to carry this campaign forward and to give it a simple focus around which we can mobilise public opinion, the support of NGOs and the support of bodies like Amnesty has already been very important to this campaign, but also, of course, critically, the support of parliamentarians as well. I think we should have a simple statement which people could sign up to by way of an online petition that could be promoted through the various sites that are concerned about human rights and progress in West Papua. I don't think it's the sort of statement one can really devise here, but if that's principle supported by the meeting, then in consultation with those who are here, we can put some words together and get that up, and that would be something we could really keep pushing and build the extent of global support and make that support clear to our governments, to the United Nations and others who need to hear the message. We welcome what they do. We were talking about the East Timor campaign a while ago and the important role of the international parliamentarians in East Timor, and of course what they do is very much to support in that. So, thank you. Right, if we move on then with the speakers, we are going to have next Melinda Janke, who has already introduced herself, who is an international human rights lawyer.
Good afternoon, distinguished parliamentarians and friends of West Papua. I'm very honoured to be invited to this launch of the International Parliamentarians for West Papua. I was privileged to meet Benny a few years ago when we were both speakers at the Bar Human Rights Council event, and I was humbled by his story. I was also shocked as an international human rights lawyer that egregious violations of human rights could take place with so little international concern or even international awareness. And I spent a good deal of the last 2 years researching the case of West Papua and self-determination. My conclusion is that West Papua has a very strong case for self-determination under international law. It's a very complicated issue, and I would just like to speak briefly about 3 aspects. 1, the legal right. 2, the procedural exercise of that right, and 3, Indonesia's claims to West Papua. The legal right to self-determination really evolved in the 1960s, crystallizing perhaps in the United Nations General Assembly Declaration on the Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries and Colonial Peoples. And it starts with the stirring words, all peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status. As you know, General Assembly resolutions are not law, they don't make law. But this one was quite special. It was an interpretation of the UN Charter, and international lawyers regarded it as stating existing law. Some query this and say it evolved over the next few years. But for West Papua, the important date is August 1969, when Indonesia held.
I regret that I could not join your delegation. I look forward to working with the international parliamentarians for West Papua to improve conditions and speak out against human rights abuses, and that is signed by Patrick J. Kennedy, a member of the United States Congress. So I think that summarises very well what we are here today to pursue, and I would like to welcome again all those who've come in since I started reading that letter. Patrick Kennedy is obviously pulling people in their numbers, even as I speak. Perhaps it would be a good idea if, at least going around the table, people could introduce introduce themselves and say hello. I'm Andrew Smith, I'm the Member of Parliament for Oxford East, and I chair the UK All-Party Group on West Batfield. I'm Richard Harries. I was Bishop of Oxford for 19 years, which is how I got involved in this. I'm now in the House of Lords as a secular peer, and I'm very happy to pursue this issue in the House of Lords as Andrew pursues it in the House of Commons.
I'm Lemmy Kershik, Member of Parliament for Montgomeryshire, and some of my constituents are very concerned about the issue. Apologies, I won't be able to stay very long, but I felt obliged, for moral as well as political reasons, to show my support.
My name is Carmel Budiajo. I have been campaigning for many, many years about human rights violations in Indonesia, East Timor, Aceh and West Papua. And now our major focus in our work is trying to alert the world about the situation in West Papua. And I'm very pleased that we've had such a good gathering like this. And I should say that we, in the past, we had a very, very effective group called Parliamentarians for East Timor. And that was very active. And it consisted of parliamentarians from many different countries and also organised a mission to the United Nations when East Timor was very much on the top of our agenda. So I think the idea of having now an international parliamentarian group called West Papua, I hope we can continue the tradition that we managed to establish about East Timor, which is in fact a very effective program.
Thank you very much. My name is Surya Mofula. I'm from Free West Papua Campaign, UK. Thank you.
My name is Abraham Stefan from the Netherlands. I'm a member of the board of the organization that supports the Papua people since the early 60s and freelance journalist.
I'm Julian McKinlay King. I'm an Australian. I'm a member of the Centre for Peace and Conflict Studies, University of Sydney, where we have a West Papua project monitoring human rights abuses in West Papua, and also a member of the Australia West Papua Association.
My name is Koen de Jager. I'm like Carmel Bijato and Julian, also busy this West Papua, and a member of the Dutch organization Foundation Pro Papua.
My name is John Mondobame. I came from West Papua Representative Office in Port Vila, Vanuatu. And right now I'm a member of the West Papuan National Council. It's a coalition of West Papuan national coalitions.
My name is Moana Capesis Kalusin. I'm a member of the Parliament of Vanuatu Parliament, former Minister of Foreign Affairs, former Minister of Finance, former leader of the opposition, and one proactive support of Free West Papua.
My name is David